Hey. Okay.
All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this episode of That's Fair Podcast. And I'm your host, Matt.
It's your boy, Bing Bing.
And it's me, Myles.
And our last urban legend Halloween segment for this month is going to be on the Richmond, Virginia vampire urban legend. So stay tuned.
Witches.
Okay. This will be our fourth and final Halloween segment episode. And this one, I think our last one was on the Arkansas urban legend hitchhiker.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the one before that was the Defiance Werewolf of Ohio.
Oh, yeah.
And then I think before that it was Riverdale Road in Colorado.
Yes.
Riverdale Road.
But this one is based on the Richmond vampire, and it's also based on the Rhode Island vampire. So I'm kind of combining two states' urban legends here.
Okay.
Good jazz.
Yeah,
Good jazz.
On October 2nd of 1945, in Richmond, Virginia, workers were doing maintenance on this railway tunnel, and there was a collapse. Now, this was built in the 1870s, this tunnel, and it was basically built on loose soil. You know?
Oh, sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, it never had a chance.
Yeah.
And the thing is it was reported that over a dozen people were killed in this. Like a steam engine blew up, which melted people's skin. Now, here's the deal. Oh, yeah,
It got real toasty really quick.
there was a firefighter that got fucked up in there, too.
Imagine kind of slippery.
And his name was Benjamin Mosby.
Mosby
Yeah.
sounds cool. Let's go with Mosby.
Yeah, let's just do that. Screw it. Was that you?
Yeah, I guess that was.
Alrighty. But the thing about him is he was one of the firefighters, and he was the first one to see this weird creature standing over one of the bodies. This creature was losing skin. Hang on, what?
It just looks like our audio is coming in kind of low.
No, it will be loud. I've already ran a
okay.
check. It's less static that we're gonna be when we put it out there.
My bad.
Stick one shit, Miles. Come on.
Sorry.
Nope. Good looking out. I can still
Appreciate it.
I can do this. I can just do this little number here where we raise the bar there, and then hang on one sec, listeners, and raise the bar just a little bit there.
Sorry.
OCD. No worries. But they saw this weird creature, and his skin looked like it was coming off. He wasn't wearing like a shirt. His teeth were fucked up and mangled, and they said he was like literally looking over the bodies, right?
Sounds like Steven's call.
Well, no, because this thing was skinny.
Yeah. It didn't reek of ranch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway, so this thing darted out of the tunnel, and they chased it. And this was supposedly happened in the daytime of August 2nd of 1945. And they chased this thing into a nearby, it was called Hollywood Cemetery. And they chased it into Hollywood Cemetery, and it goes into this tomb. It runs into this actual tomb of the Poole family. The name of the family was the Poole family. Anyway, so
Pool with an E or just straight pool?
I don't know. I just heard and just kind of went from there. I guess I should have paid attention.
Looked into it a little bit. I did not fart, I promise.
Sure.
It's okay.
Myles farted.
Didn't.
God damn it. I didn't pay attention. Is there an E or not? God damn it.
It's going to eat away at you forever. It's okay. Let's continue.
Maybe the E is for eat, and it will eat at me. Look into Hollywood. Look at, if you want to Google real quick, Hollywood Cemetery, Richmond, Virginia, and look up Poole, tomb, and then it'll probably give you the pronunciation. I mean, I'll put it on the video. By the way, listeners, if you are new to us, please like and subscribe to our YouTube page. Any kind of support helps. It's growing.
It is. It is.
But anyway, so this vampire.
Not like any of us, though.
Oh, we're stunted folk.
We really are.
All right, we're getting off track here.
No. But this disfigured, shattered tooth figure runs into this tomb, and it was never seen again.
What's her name again?
Poole.
Oh, the
I
Poole
want to
family.
say that William Poole. William. It might be P. I believe it's Poole. We're gonna make this a big fucking deal.
I was just curious.
No, I know, but I can't let it go.
I'm just saying, like, oh no, he was just straight up Poole.
Look at, all right, look at that. Look at
We'll let
that.
it slide. I feel like Poole with an E is just unnecessary.
But if
so
you
that's
think
why I
about it,
was wondering.
back then you couldn't afford the E. You know what I mean?
Yeah, true.
That's like my name's Mark with a B, and they're like, "Where's the B?"
Well, the women ask him, "Where's the D?"
Not very many of them. Anyways, continue.
Bing, bing. That's what the B is.
Yeah.
Bing, bing.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Anyway, yeah, you're right. Way off topic here.
All right.
But anyway, what they ended up doing was the firefighter that got injured in it as well. Here's the deal, though. The story is that they think that the firefighter, the 28-year-old Benjamin Mosby, may have been the vampire because he got injured in a steam blow up in there,
Okay.
and his skin was missing. His teeth got fucked up. Yeah, he was mangled, and they basically
Freddy Krueger.
yeah, he was disfigured, and he died later at the hospital anyway.
Okay, makes sense.
But many realists say that that was probably your vampire. But what they don't understand is why did this person run across town in the daytime? Because at this point in time, Richmond's not very big.
Yeah.
And and then he runs into the daytime and runs into the cemetery where he's ultimately never seen again. Some people say they've never seen that thing again.
Huh.
So
Interesting.
yeah. And to this day, like in the like 1950s, because this happened in 1945, but in the 50s, 60s, even the 70s, there was a university there. I've got the name of it, but students really got into it, and the folklore really started to pick up. They closed the tunnel, and to this day, they don't know how many bodies are still in there. There was upwards, they say, of 12 people that died in this collapse.
Damn.
But there's 2 or more still entombed in there because they just closed it in there with the actual locomotive.
Said, fuck it.
Yeah. They sealed it up with locomotive 231.
Nobody getting in or out of here now.
There would be no reason to.
Yeah.
But it was locomotive 231. There were 10 boxcars in there, and the remains of at least 2, if not more, inside. Still entombed to this day.
Damn. That's wild.
So,
That's creepy.
William, go ahead.
I feel like we should once we really take off here, all right? We got to revisit some of these old or like our original stories like this. And then we got to go to that destination.
Like in real life,
yeah,
like
if applicable, right? And then just
and
go
get
there.
the good. We'll get the good mini mics, and I would make some time. But we all work at Kaizen. Would they let us all go at once?
Maybe.
Look, here's the thing.
Okay, break it down. He's going to break down the thing.
Here's the thing. They can't fire us all, right? So let's just go at once.
Have you ever heard the term "famous last words"?
Yeah, but here's the thing.
Okay, here's the thing. He's got another thing.
Yeah, here's the other thing that I have for the first thing to counteract the last thing that Matt brought up.
A lot of things.
Here's the thing.
Things.
If we're capable of doing this solely because our podcast is doing well, do you really think we're going to care about Kaizen?
That was not Mark or Matt. That's all I'm going to say.
I have to go.
I can't come to the phone, but if you leave your name and number.
Yeah.
No, I hear you. Real quick.
That'd be sick, though.
To end the Richmond vampire, so we can move on to Mercy Brown, which is a really fucked up story, you guys.
Yeah.
William Poole, his wife, and one of his children were buried there in that tomb. Now, people would vandalize it after this urban legend really started taking off. So they ultimately moved the caskets out of that tomb to I don't know where. It never said. But because of the legend, they had to remove the caskets. Go ahead.
It can't be allowed.
No.
There's no way that's just allowed. Hey, somebody go move Grandpa.
Well, people thought that William Poole, because that thing ran into that tomb, people thought William Poole was the actual vampire.
Sure.
And I think this is just conjecture. I think he was the one that got kicked out of England for, and I quote, being a vampire. That's what some people have said.
Vampire.
That's coincidence, maybe not.
That's dinky, right? But okay, like the cool thing for me is like I don't know. I think I would take the title of the vampire. I would just fuck with people. You know what I mean? I'd be like,
while you're dead.
No, not
because I don't think that's going to be very successful.
Not while I'm.
That's like that's like the only rule of being a vampire is that like people
don't tell anybody.
Yeah, it's like Fight Club, bro.
But yeah, it can be like Fight Club. But like if you're already being like told that you're a vampire, just be like, look, here's the deal: you get within 50 feet of me, and you turn. And
I'll just fuck you.
I'm just going to turn you to liquid, and they're going to be like, how? And then I'm just going to be like, lasers and shit.
Vampires have lasers now.
Damn.
So we turn into Blade Runner. It's not Blade, it's Blade Runner.
Yeah.
So. Okay.
No, I don't know. I'm just saying, like.
I mean, as you know, if you're following the folklore of vampires, they have compulsion or basically charm gaze, where they can literally make you, trigger warning, unlife yourself if they wanted to. They can lasers. It's just a total mind meld. I mean, they can totally.
What was that shit in fucking Twilight?
Mind lasers.
That is the shittiest amount of lore in Twilight. I mean, those weren't even werewolves. What was the dude's name that played the werewolf?
Lautner.
Yeah, what was his name in the movie? Whatever.
Jacob.
Edwin. Okay, well, I didn't know,
Edwin.
so I'm glad. But
Team Edward or Team Jacob, bro?
Oh, I thought it was Edwin. I don't know.
I'm team get the fuck out of the theater. That's what I'm. And anyways, the thing is, those weren't werewolves. Those were shifters. We've talked about that in our last.
They're animaguses.
Yeah, they're stupid. Anyway, it's also believed that the occult would come out on moonless nights and hold their weird ass vigils to basically wake the vampire up.
Oh, sweet. Little ceremonial awakening.
Cool.
I don't know. That's just some of the thought process behind that.
Okay. I'm trying to think.
Just your regular run-of-the-mill vampire story.
Sure. But
sure.
You know, every state has probably a vampire story to some degree or another. If not, they have a witch story or a werewolf story.
Up there in like the East Coast, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I believe it. Like this with the Salem witch trials and all the other funky stuff they got going on up there.
But you have to understand that was still in an age where gullibility was so much more easier to you know what I mean? To wash over you. I mean, as a kid, you were gullible as fuck. So
you were
imagine
just a little albino, and they're just like, bro, this guy is
they're probably like, what the
man,
fuck?
sucks
I'm a leprechaun.
Well, like, okay, do you guys remember how they resurrected Dracula in Dracula 2000 with
Omar Epps? Wasn't Omar Epps in that one?
I think. Let me check.
Because they try to kill Omar Epps with a crucifixion. He goes, sorry, I'm atheist.
Yeah, dude, nice. Omar Epps and Gerard Butler. Because they use like a blood ceremony to basically like just a drop of blood goes into it and opens up the casket. It's kind of cool.
Well, the Underworld did a better job with the whole vampirism.
Yeah, true.
I mean, like, well, obviously, who doesn't want to see Kate Beckinsale in leather? But I'm just saying that helped. It did. But they really stuck to the lore of the vamp, and that's what started the whole vampire versus werewolf thing. Because you'd asked that question during the Defiance Werewolf, and what is the deal against those two? It's just Hollywood making those two things at war.
Sure. Yeah, it's just like Jason versus Freddy.
Yeah. It basically is exactly what that is. Yeah. But I mean, like Dracula, and then you had Nosferatu come in afterwards.
Yeah.
And before we get into the Mercy Brown, the last American vampire, I'm air quoting. You guys should check out the other vampire movie now that I believe it's on Max. Max. I don't know if it's HBO Max or what.
Which one is it?
No, it's called Salem's Lot. It's another remake.
Yeah. I heard about this.
I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna look it up right now.
It's not bad, but I'm gonna tell you straight up, the 1979 version with David Soul is still by far the best one because I watched that as a kid and it scared the fuck out of me. Now, not in 1979, I wouldn't remember that, but I'm just saying, I really wouldn't. I'm old. No, I'm old.
He was only like 15 when that movie came out.
I was 14 and a half, you prick. Quit having on time. I was 7. I wasn't allowed to watch those yet. But it fucks you up, man. Like if you watch the original, it'll actually, some scenes in that one fuck you up.
Okay.
And it did. The remake that came out like this year, even though it was made like 2 years ago, There was a show out. It was supposed to be based in like Montana or Wyoming. It had this huge, like it's on the ranch. It was like this huge hole in the ground. Did you see that?
Oh yeah. It's called Outer Range.
Yes, Out of Range.
With who's the guy that plays Thanos?
Brolin.
Josh Brolin.
Yeah. Well, the main guy in this that plays the author Ben Mears in this remake Salem's Lot, he was the son.
Oh, okay.
The one who
his wife got one missing.
Yes.
Okay.
No. I think it was the other guy. He's the other guy. He was the one guy that hooked up with the weird chick. Remember?
Vaguely.
This was the 70s?
Yeah, that was the 70s.
That's creepy,
Yeah,
bro.
that looks like Nosferatu. Do me a quick favor. Will you look up the cast of Salem's Lot 2024? You'll recognize him. He's one of the sons.
Yeah.
He was. I think he was a rodeo guy.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. There he is, like on the top left.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Because he's the one that is kind of trying to settle everything down.
Yes. He plays Ben Mears in the remake of Salem's Lot, the main guy, and it's not bad. You can't really touch the originals. It's a Stephen King vampire film, so it's not bad. Even though Stephen King's a piece of shit.
Yeah, probably spooky though. You know, he was good at that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Best.
But anyway, guys, I was watching Scott on Tape, the guy who's given us a shout out a couple of times. He's a pretty big YouTuber.
Yeah.
He was in Rhode Island recently, and he covered the story, but it was about Mercy Brown, the last American vampire. And by the way, in the late 17 to 1800s, New England had a vampire craze, a vampire panic. Now, as you know, a couple hundred years before that, it was a witch craze in that area. I mean, they're killing innocent women.
Looking for hysteria at this point, dude.
Just like, you know what? The town is bored, and we haven't.
What's a new creature that we can mix together real quick?
They're like, you know what? That Sarah across the street has been making a lot of bread. You see that? She put out 4 loaves in one day.
All I can say is I got a yeast issue now. So
she's a witch. Like, what is that? I don't know. She just seems like what that would be.
I mean, you imagine living back in the 16th or the 17th century, and in the 1690s, if someone called you a witch, they killed you for it. Like these little girls that accused.
And this went all the way up into the 1890s.
Yeah, Sarah Good and Bridget Bishop and these other people of being witches. And
you have to realize, like, somebody born in 1892 could have survived to 1992 or further.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, they could have. I mean, you could have had some people make it to 1995. I mean, like be 103. But I'm just saying that
probably longer if you were an actual witch too. So I mean, like
First World War, Roaring '20s, Second World War, the Depression, the '80s,
shit.
the first nukes, right? The first people to fly, right? Like,
but I mean, so like so you had people in that area. That whole area was already going through a witch craze 200 years. Now there was a vampire panic going around. During this time, people were believing that when you buried a family member, these family members were coming back from the dead and literally making other living members sick, like with vampirism. Like, as you know, like if a vampire slowly feeds off someone, you fall ill.
Yeah.
But here's the deal. The problem is tuberculosis was spreading like fucking rapid, just wildfire at that time.
So something interesting that I learned about tuberculosis is like, okay, so you can come in contact with somebody with it, like if they like cough on you or whatever.
Sure.
And let's say you don't have the vaccine for it or whatever, you won't like get it. Like you're not likely to get it from them just from that one interaction. It's going to have to be somebody that you spend
And not only that,
with.
sometimes it could be years down the road before you start showing symptoms.
Yeah.
I mean, you won't even know you have it for years. But the thing
is, got the burk.
Yeah. Well, but or the tube. But what it is it's a disease. It's like a lung fungus.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Doc Holliday had it.
But yeah, they said during that time, people believed that these family members that were dying were coming back out at night, rising from the dead to drain the life essence of family members. Like I said, it was a bacteria or fungus on the lungs. The infection spread so easily around the families at this point in time. As you know, no immunizations, all that.
Yeah. Just living raw, dude.
Do you know that 80% of those contacting it died? It had an 80% death ratio at that time.
Wow.
The rumors swirled. There was a family.
They could have just had a cough drop the whole time and been fine or something.
Yeah. I mean, that's it, though. I mean, like, what was it? And this isn't racist by any means, but like the white man introduced the common cold to the Native Americans and it fucking killed them off all because they had no immunization buildup, natural buildup against it. and people coming from these European colonies did.
Yeah, that's why everyone's so
Dirty.
afraid of all the ice melting. It's all the bacteria.
Oh, sure. Yeah, there's a bunch of nasty shit in there.
Don't even. All right, I'm not even gonna say it. I'm not even gonna say it. But George and Mary Brown had 7 children. And in a span of 1882,
A lot of children.
Wasn't a lot going on back then.
the town was Exeter, Rhode Island. Okay? And many people in Exeter, Rhode Island contracted
TB.
tuberculosis. Yeah.
The Burke.
In 1883, Mary died. And then in 1884, Mary, the wife, died.
Okay.
In 1884, daughter Mary died. Okay, so that's who so far had been dying from it. Now, in 1889, Edwin the only son, started showing symptoms, getting sick. And in 1892, 3 years later, Mercy Brown would die on January 17th. Now, here's the deal. She died in January of the dead of winter, okay? Everyone else was buried in the ground. Here's why they knew she was the vampire. They had to bury her topside in a tomb, okay?
Okay.
Now, she'd only been dead for 8 to 10 weeks when they decided to exhume her and do some shit to her body because they knew she was the one making the rest of her family sick. Now, they dug up the other ones that were already passed.
Yeah.
They were already bones. They're like, there's no way it's easy.
Bones in there.
So here's the deal. So this is not even 2.5 months later. They go into the tomb to exhume in the casket Mercy Brown. Well, for one, her skin was flush. This was the winter. They couldn't break ground. They had to wait for it to thaw.
She's toasty.
Okay, so
this is the wintertime, so it's preserving her. So they think that she's an active vampire because she looks almost normal.
Yeah, I was going to say she's frozen.
Yeah.
Yes, she was frozen, but they couldn't put that together. Like her cheeks were flushed.
I see.
Yeah. So what do? They take her. They cut her open. They take her heart out. They take out her lungs. Okay. And then they mix the ashes, they burn it all, and they mix the ashes with water and have the son Edwin drink it because they thought that was the cure for his affliction of vampirism.
Oh, yeah.
No, seriously. Mark.
Yeah, dude. That's a stellar. Could you just imagine they're just like, hey, drink this? And it's just like, when they're pouring it, it's like, and then it's just like, all right, that last one was a major artery. So
that's just an aortic.
Sure you get that down.
Yeah, that's part of the aortic valve. You're good. You're good.
But the little texture don't hurt, you know?
It did not have the desired effect. It did not cure Edwin, and he would go on to pass.
I'm assuming he chewed that drink.
Wow.
I would imagine he passed. Did he pass from that? I'm curious.
No, believe it or not, that didn't kill him.
Wow. That's impressive. Did you throw it all out?
But like I said, she's kept in an above-ground crypt. The winter is kept her preserved. Her cheeks were a little flush. She still had blood on her heart because back then they drained your blood. But yeah, this is she's the vampire in their eyes. So they fucking mutilated her body. I mean,
for no reason.
Yeah, I mean, no one deserves that after death.
No.
Especially someone innocent. I mean, it's not like she felt it, but you know what I'm saying.
Could you imagine being like, think about it, right? Like, somebody could be like, hey, why is great uncle so-and-so so weird? And then you'd be like, oh, yeah, they made him drink
he drank his cousin.
he drank his sister's heart and lungs when he was younger.
Not my pop.
And it's like that story could have been told to somebody in the 80s, dude. Like, that could have been their great uncle just chilling over there.
That sounds like a fake story, because who the fuck would do that?
But people of Exeter felt that, hey, her body's good. That's proof enough. She's got red cheeks. Oh, she had blood on her heart. She's a vampire.
So like those people who tried to be like an expert at something and they're completely wrong.
Well, doctors.
I know the vampire. I've seen 1,000 of them.
Well, the doctors that lived there and George, the father, they were like, "This is total fucking bullshit. Why are we doing this?" But they are under the pressure of the town to get it done to make people feel better. Anyway. It was winter and very slow decomposition that contributed to everyone believing that Mercy was a vampire. Now, again, during the superstitious ritual, her heart, like I said, all that was burned to ashes. They mixed it. Edwin had to drink it, but he ended up dying in 1892.
within
not
the
long
within the
after
year,
they
pretty
exhumed
much.
her.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, just like a month
Yeah.
after they exhumed her or whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, Jenny, another daughter, and Annie would die in 1895, both of them, from TB. Myra, the last of them, died in No, not the last. Myra died in 1899. The only child to live into the 20th century was Patty.
Wow.
Damn.
Yeah.
Patty's like, I got to see it through, my boy.
Yeah, she was the only one that I guess lived in. I mean, but you're not going to live a long life because let's be honest, you don't have all the.
Do we know what her death date?
I mean, back then
On
too.
Patty?
Yeah.
You can look up Patty Brown, Rhode Island death date. It might
yeah.
have it. We'd like to. It'd be nice to see how long she lived.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious about that.
But yeah, Rhode Island, Patty Brown.
Wait, what year is it?
This isn't. She made it into the 20th. Did I say 19th? I meant 20th century. She made it into the 20th century.
You said 20th century.
Okay. Yeah. So.
Okay.
Give me one moment.
But like I said, like you can do George and Mary. I think it was Mary Brown. Like you can do that, and they can show the chronology of the children, maybe.
Well, it's pulling up too much. That's a pretty common name.
Okay. Well, what I can do for the video though is let me research it, and then when I put the video out, I'll just blast it right up there on the video.
Yeah.
We will not leave you hanging with her because she. No pun intended for the witches, huh?
Wow.
Oof. Ooh, okay.
What if now we're gonna get a hex on us? That was Matthew Cotts. That was Matthew Cotts. So you can place a hex on Matthew Cotts.
300 years later. I don't think it's too soon. 300 and what?
You never know.
32 years later?
You never know.
Yeah, the ancestors of witches, you don't want to mess with those according to lore. They don't let shit go.
Yeah, dude.
No.
Well, when they're alive forever.
I mean, just look at Keanu Reeves, dude.
Well,
definitely a vampire.
Isn't that what the actual authentication of a witch's power comes from their ancestors? Even though, like the Puritans would say, she sold her soul to the devil, so the devil's giving her power. No, I think that the witches are supposed to draw upon their ancestral power, if I'm not mistaken. But hold on, whoa! No, but that's 1865. That's way before that one.
Yeah, see, that's a different Patty Brown.
Yeah. I mean, anyway.
Anyways, all right. We're not going to get real deep into this Patty Brown stuff.
Anyway, as I always say, I want to rest in peace to the people in the Richmond cave-in, and then rest in peace to the Brown family as well.
Yeah, and fuck the Richmond north of Richmond.
Ooh, God, I hope we have no listeners.
No, I'm just kidding.
Because that was Myles Cervenak.
Whoa. Easy.
A lot of name drops.
Yeah, there's a lot of name drops. We're
Yeah,
gonna have to get a bleeper.
Beep.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get a mad bleeper.
But those are the urban legends on the vampires, and a lot of weird shit. It's like I don't know what to make of it. Obviously, it's vampires are mythical beings that we once thought could be in another dimension, or just great literature.
Yeah, true. It's good potential.
Quick question though.
What's that?
You guys believe in that kind of supernatural?
Oh yeah,
sure.
I do. I don't see why not. All the weird shit that we've been told isn't real, and then they're like, "Hey,
by the way,
declassified. Yeah, it was real. That happened." I'm like, "Yeah, it could be real. I think it's real."
I think it's creative enough that it could be.
I think that there's possibly a premise that it could have been based off of. Maybe there was some mad scientist back in the day was trying to crossbreed some shit, and then instead he just made a bunch of diseases.
Oh, and by the way, a little fun fact I pulled to you.
Okay.
Mercy Brown, the real life person of Mercy Brown, Bram Stoker, who wrote Dracula, wrote that book not long after the deaths of the Brown family, and one of the characters in Bram Stoker's Dracula is based off her, Mercy Brown.
Wow.
So yeah,
that's pretty interesting.
Yeah,
I mean, it's always cool to know where
shout out.
I mean, vampires have to go back super super far, obviously, but it's cool tracing origin stories and stuff to a certain point. Anyways,
right.
I think it's pretty neat. But I mean, let's see. Okay, question now: if you had to deal with being a normal person in a world filled with vampires and werewolves, which world would you have to deal with? Which one do you think you'd want to deal with, vampires or werewolves?
Would I be or fight?
No, you're
You're
just
get
a
your ass
normal.
handed to you by either one.
No, you're just a normal everyday guy.
Uh-huh.
All right, you're just us. All right, we work at Kaizen Auto Body, and you realize, oh man, dude, you guys see what happened down at the blood bank, right? Blade broke in and had to kill a bunch of people. Hey, like,
I would
those are the kind of conversations we would have.
I would.
Okay, or it's like, hey, you hear about the werewolf attack off 9th the other day? That was wild.
I thought you were
pretty
asking
crazy.
which one I'd rather be, because I'd rather be a full-on werewolf.
Well, no. I don't care about what you would want to be. I want to know what you got to deal with.
Yeah. I think I'd rather
everybody always asks the question, which one would you want to be? But nobody ever asks, which one would you want to freaking deal with?
Yeah.
Right?
If you want
I would rather deal with vampires.
I'd want to deal with a vampire.
Yeah.
You want to fight something that's immortal.
Death would be quick, all right, for the most part.
They can move with an unnatural speed of thought. Are you
Exactly.
sure you want to do that?
That's what I'm saying. Death would be quick. I wouldn't have to fight him. I would just be like, all right.
No, I would want to take my chances with the lichen, because if he bites me and I survive, guess what? I'm shifting and I'm chasing the mailman.
Yeah, okay. but what if a vampire is like, you know what? I'm going to turn this guy. You're counterbalancing this to the point where you get to win. All right, you don't get to win here.
I think the imagery of like
you either die or you just get to be normal.
Okay, if I had to choose, and I find this question to be very odd, if I'm going to choose a way of death by either one, kill me. With a vampire.
Okay, so you prefer to live in the world.
I wouldn't want to die by a werewolf. Like that would suck.
Yeah, just
you know what I mean? Like
die.
No, nobody wants to die, but we're just saying in the plausibility, we're not the average, we're not Van Helsing out here, or we're definitely not the vampire, and we're definitely not the werewolf. We're just normal everyday people, right? We are the background characters. That's what I'm asking in this scenario.
He NPC'd us.
wow.
Yeah, I'm just asking. I'm like, if you were the background character, man, which one would you want to deal with? I would be like, I'd much rather deal with vampires. I mean, like, we get all day, all right?
I mean, if it's death is the only outcome, it doesn't matter to me. I'm dying either way.
I don't know.
It's not the ultimate outcome. I'm just saying that's the plausibility.
Dude, you buzzkilled it. It doesn't matter. It's fucking over.
He's like, you know what? I don't get to be a vampire, and I don't get to be a fucking.
All right. Well, on that note, Miles' weird ass question. We're gonna write that question.
Let's
after
wrap
you guys.
it up, brother.
Yeah, guys.
Let's put a poll on
on YouTube and on Spotify. How would you rather die, vampire or werewolf? Let us
Not
know.
necessarily death. Just live with.
Wait, let us know in the comments.
Yeah. Just think about
it's all
Bewitched.
hypothetical.
Yeah.
All hypothetical.
It's all hypothetical.
I hope. I'd rather tuberculosis. All right, and on that note, guys, I am outro.
Boy.
Thus, but down here.